In this video, we are going to be learning about the subject of chemistry and the scientific method. Chemistry is the study of matter and the energy associated with the changes in the composition of matter. A chemical is anything that's made out of matter. Matter is defined as anything that has mass and occupies space. All matter is made out of atoms. In biology, you learn that all living things are made out of cells. In chemistry, we ask, what are cells made out of? Atoms are the fundamental building blocks of all parts of cells, including molecules such as DNA. However, it is not just living things that are made out of atoms. Everything that you can pick up and feel is made out of atoms. In this image, atoms are represented as balls. The soda shown in this drawing contains water molecules, caffeine, carbon dioxide, and sugar molecules. As you take notes, you are transferring atoms from your pen or pencil onto the paper. Chemistry is all around us. Chemists study the relationship between the structure of matter at a very small scale and the properties of that matter at a larger scale. By understanding the relationship between structure and properties, chemists can design materials with specific properties to serve specific functions or purposes. Chemists are essential in many industries. Many companies have research and development departments or quality control departments that employ chemists. Chemists have contributed to the development of anesthetics, antibiotics, birth control pills, fertilizers, fuels, plastics, batteries, and many other products. Chemistry is a science, and in science, ideas are accepted or rejected based on evidence. The scientific method describes how scientists build knowledge. A quote from Albert Einstein is, "No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right, but a single experiment can prove me wrong." The scientific method begins with making observations and using those observations to develop hypotheses or proposed explanations. Experiments are then conducted to test the hypothesis and gather more evidence. Based on the results, scientists refine their explanations or continue developing their understanding of the natural world. In many diagrams of the scientific method, it may appear that a hypothesis can turn directly into a theory after experiments are completed, but that is not what these diagrams are showing. The vocabulary terms hypothesis, theory, and law represent different types of scientific explanations. Just like apples, oranges, and kumquats are all different types of fruit, hypothesis, theory, and laws are different scientific terms that cannot simply transform into one another. These terms differ in their scope or how broadly they explain observations. A hypothesis is a proposed explanation, but it is usually narrow in scope, and it's not simply a guess, it's based on observations or existing data. A theory is also an explanation, but it is much broader than a hypothesis. A theory can incorporate many different hypotheses and laws to create an integrated explanation for a wide range of observations. Because theories are supported by many lines of evidence, they can be used to make predictions about the world around us. For example, a hypothesis about a specific butterfly species may explain observations about only that species. In contrast, the theory of biological evolution is much broader because it explains patterns across all species. Laws describe relationships between observable phenomena, but do not explain why those relationships occur. For example, the law of conservation of matter states that matter is neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. It describes what happens, but it does not explain why matter is conserved. Let's take a look at atomic models over time. This is a great example of how scientific ideas change when new evidence becomes available. In 1803, John Dalton proposed that each element was made out of tiny, indivisible particles called atoms. we can imagine these atoms as solid spheres. Nearly 100 years later, J.J. Thomson discovered electrons within atoms. Because atoms are overall neutral, Thomson proposed that negatively charged electrons were embedded within a positively charged substance. This became known as the plum pudding model. Plum pudding is an English dessert that contains pieces of fruit suspended throughout a mixture, similar to how Thomson imagined electrons were distributed throughout the atom. The model of the atom continued to change as new experiments provided additional evidence. Ernest Rutherford developed the nuclear model of the atom, which showed that the positively charged area is concentrated in the small central area called the nucleus, with electrons surrounding the nucleus. Later atomic models focus on explaining how electrons were arranged around the nucleus. The most recent model of the atom, the quantum mechanical model, has remained largely unchanged for approximately the past 100 years. As scientists conducted new experiments and gathered new evidence, atomic models had to be revised and adjusted to better explain their observations.